Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us again. Welcome back to our channel. This is the Love is Healing channel, and in this channel we aim to teach you, show you, embody that love is in fact healing, that when we love ourselves we can love others better, and we can integrate, we can have more empathy, we can have open conversations, especially with those that we disagree with the most. And yeah, we aim to have respectful dialogue and open-ended questions, and just, again, building that empathy and those connections with other people, especially those that believe differently from us. Also, we focus on psychoeducation and all things trauma, spirituality, honestly, just what comes up. All right, please like, share, subscribe, and comment if you have any comments on this video. Hi everyone, welcome back. If you don't already know me, my name is Magnolia Heaton. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I'm a CSAT candidate and a certified integrated mental health practitioner and a lot of other things. And yeah, welcome back. So, I feel guided to say that, well, firstly, my regular microphone isn't working, so that's a sad story, but hopefully this does the job. Secondly, I have a feeling my audience is going to grow a bit, and so for those people who are kind of incoming, I'll say my style is a little different. I would call it a bit eclectic. I would say I am a millennial, so there's that piece. I'm also from Southern California, and there's that piece that really informs how I show up here, right? I'm also Mexican, and I'm also a social worker, and I'm also a CSAT candidate. So like, there's also me showing up professionally in a lot of ways, but then also using my dialect that I grew up with and things like that. So like, if I use improper language, or like Ebonics and things like that, that's because that's where I came from and how we speak. And I'm doing my best to just be myself rather than to be like really rigid and surgical or stuff like that. So anyhow, just wanted to say that. And then also, onto the topic for today, I would say that I think it's very interesting because I posted the last video, which was on like my own narcissistic abuse story, like kind of like just pieces of it, right? And I didn't realize that I was going to be going to a presentation by somebody. I hope to cut and put a picture here. If you do recognize her name, or don't, it doesn't matter, but her name, she goes by Dr. Ramani, right? She has a last name that starts with a D that is very long. And she specializes in narcissism, studying narcissism, teaching and training about narcissism. She travels around the world and things like that. And oddly enough, I first came across her work, honestly, like around the time that I recorded the videos that were in that last video. So like those snippets. But yeah, I want to say like 7 years ago, more or less. 7 or 8 years ago, and I was debating whether or not to leave my marriage, and I stumbled across her work on YouTube. At that time, I didn't really watch YouTube too much, so I just think it's really interesting that, like, the few times that I did log in on YouTube, I stumbled upon her work, and she spoke about it in a clinical way, which, I was a clinician at the time, so that was helpful and validating, but, like, it's just exactly what I needed to hear at the time, to, like, validate my own reality from being gaslit so much, right? And so it was really neat. I got to go to the ITAP symposium. I'll talk about that. I'll post another video on that later. Making a note to myself. Symposium. But yeah, there's a lot I want to say on that. It was amazing. And that was great. She was the first keynote speaker that we had, and she kicked off the symposium. And then, I mean, she works out of California, teaches in California. I think that's great because I'm from there, and it's just like nice to get a little piece of home sometimes, right? And then she did a book signing later, so I hadn't actually checked out her books, but I was like, I want to meet her, I want to take a picture with her, like, I'm gonna support her work. So I did buy a couple of books, and I don't have them on me here. I don't know where they are, but one of them is It's Not You. I know that. That's the one that I asked her to sign, and then the other one, I mean, yeah, I'm not sure, but I'll find them. And so, yeah, it was really cool. She was really down to earth and sweet. I mean, I only had like a minute with her, right? But I just told her, like, hey, took the picture first because I knew I was going to burst into tears, which I did. But I was like, hey, I thank you so much for your work. You know, I was in this situation and I found your videos, and like, they were really validating, and like, they gave me the courage to leave, essentially. So I am grateful for her eternally. And on my side, I'm like, I was thinking after I posted that last video on my survival story that like I was in the middle of closing up a lot of 7-year cycles that started around that time frame. And so I just think it's really interesting how the universe works, like in the timing and things like that. But like, as I was kind of closing a lot of that, and I was like, all right, cool, I have the courage and the words, and I can post this video and stuff, that I also happened to meet her, which to me just is a metaphor and represents a lot of that growth and the ending of that cycle and things like that, while also simultaneously representing me and my next chapter. Like, it was really cool, like, hey, found her on YouTube, you know, this happened kind of in a personal way and a private way. And then I saw her in this big symposium with all kinds of people, like, I don't know, 500 or something attendees. And yeah, and then there she was, like, traveling and doing all these things that I'm hoping to do as the next phase of my career. So I just think it's so cool. And gratitude, you know, to her. And I really just came on here to say that, you know, the way that divine timing can work if you just kind of surrender to the process. But not only that, but once you're mindful in your body and like paying attention to yourself, what's going on with your emotional processes, sitting with them, practicing distress tolerance, things like that, you'll start to notice these little things, these little nuances to life, and like ways in which life really shows up for you and takes care of you if you pay attention despite the adversity. And that's something that I'm trying to really come to terms with. I'm not gonna say that I had an easy life, but like, I have had a really optimistic mentality overall and a really resilient mentality. So then to see that there's been so much darkness personally in my life over the past 4 years, and then also in the lives of the people that have surrounded me, I feel like the COVID grief is really starting to catch up to everybody, especially those who weren't actively processing it already. It is dark. It can be really dark, you know, and then like, especially if you start to research the different systems that underlie the structures of society. It's a lot to sit with. So I think I just wanted to say that. Oh, check out my shirt. I'm doing my best club. There's my daughter's friend's mom. My daughter's friend's mom owns a shop, and she designs her own shirts and stuff, and I went in and got this, and I think it's cool because it's like, yeah, man, it's a really fitting theme. It's like, bro, I'm doing my best, you know? So anyone out there trying to do their best and doing their best with all of the lemons that life has been throwing, just shout out to you and kudos to you, and I'm proud of you. It's tricky, man. I feel like we just have options, right? Like, life is gonna give you lemons. Cool. I mean, like, there's so much you can do with that, right? You can like run away from it, you can run toward it, or just do nothing with it. But I feel like those who fare best and are most resilient are able to be flexible and just continue and get up. What is it? Fall 7 times, get up 8, that kind of thing. It's like, yeah, that's ultimately what it comes down to. I feel like No one's really exempt. As much as they want to be protected against adversity and things like that, no one's exempt from it. Like, no one lives in a bubble. And even if they did live in a bubble, that would come with its own issues, you know? I think this feels complete. Just wanted to post that. And yeah, thank you for watching. So excited to get to meet her, you guys. Like, oh my God, you're so cool. Just in the fangirl way, like, of like, I am that way. I am giddy. I am excited. I am excitable. I am that person. So it's like, yeah, it was so cool to like see her as a peer, as a scholar, as someone I look up to. At least her intellect and her expertise, you know? Like, that's so cool. And she's doing what I want to do. So, like, role model. It's nice to have role models. I don't have them often. And it was nice for her to be able to receive my gratitude for her and things like that, because not everybody can accept and receive positivity, you know, compliments and things like that. So, anyhow, that's all. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye. As always, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it. Please give us a like, share, subscribe. And you can find us at loveishealingllc.com for any bookings, trainings, collaborations, things like that. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and our handle is at loveishealingllc. Take care, everyone.